I'm going to tell you a story of a simple man who lived a not-so-simple life. So gather round, children, and listen closely, for this is a tale of Meklan Darlakalia.
The following sequence of images is an artist's depiction of what Meklan would look like in the real world, also because I could not find how to access the villager skins. Enjoy.
Meklan was born the same way as the rest of us, in a test tube on an alien spaceship sent to Earth for one reason and one reason wait. Oh, wrong version, hang on. Here we go, okay. Meklan was born the same way as the rest of us, from a giant red heart being placed upon a bed. Yeah, that sounds more realistic. His family were poor and they didn't have very much, so from a young age he would work. His days were spent at the lumberyard. He was in charge of moving the smaller logs around and getting into places nobody else could fit. It was hard labour, no one could say otherwise, but it had to be done or else he and his family would starve. Life continued this way until he grew older and decided he would leave home and see the world. Many years Meklan spent on the open trail. He saw things that would be beyond belief to any normal man. And they built him as a person, made him stronger. He would live day to day not knowing what tomorrow would bring. It was the adventure he'd always dreamt of. Weeks, months, years passed by and Meklan was beginning to grow tired of this life. The things that used to enthrall him now bore him. He had quite literally seen everything that was possible to see. Then one day he stumbled upon the beginning of a village and thought to himself, maybe it's time to settle down. He approached the one man who lived there and asked for work. He explained he had experience in everything from his travels. He could do anything. But the man needed lumber, so once again Meklan was chopping and carrying wood all day long. Thankfully, he actually quite enjoyed this job. After all, he had food, friends, and a roof over his head. Over time, the village began to build up. More wanderers joined the community and everything was going very well. A little too well. The mayor was always seen as a little strange and someone who thought of themselves as a superior. But after all, he was the mayor, what more can you really expect from a leader? But as time went on, the superiority mindset grew thicker. The strangeness turned to madness. Eventually, he was no longer just a humble mayor. He had become an evil tyrant to his people. For years on end, his cruel reign continued. The villagers kept their mouths shut and did their bidding, until one day a certain someone could take it no more. Meklan Darlakalia. He decided this could not carry on. For weeks he tried convincing the other villagers to stand up against the corrupt mayor, but no one would join his side. He would have to do this alone. Frequently the mayor would stand upon his quite literal ivory tower looking down on his citizens. He would order 2 guards to stand and watch the door and allow no one up. Many times Meklan had tried to sneak past but never succeeded, until eventually he had an idea that might just work. He waited until nightfall before heading down into the mines. They were entirely unguarded and empty, leaving him to search for the exact thing he needed to execute this plan. Dynamite. He grabbed as much as he possibly could carry and headed up to the mayor's house. Ever so quietly he laid the explosives down in a hidden area and rigged it up with the wire. The plan was ready. The next day Meklan went about things as normal, chopping wood, carrying wood, chopping some more wood, carrying some more wood. For the entire day Meklan kept an eye on the tower, just waiting for the mayor. But his usual time had passed by now and Meklan began to panic. What if he discovered the explosives? He quickly started looking for a way to escape the village. He knew of the things that would happen if he was caught. When suddenly he heard shouting in the distance.
Hey you, guard, come here.
It was the mayor barking orders at the guards to watch the door. The time is now. Meklan started the countdown. He had 1 minute until the blast. Walking over to the tower, Meklan's heart was racing. The freedom he had been wanting for years was in the palm of his hands. The future of many families depended on him. Everything he had ever done in his life had led up to this moment, right here, right now. It worked! The explosion went off and the mayor's house was no more. The guards ran to see what had just happened, leaving the mayor at the top of his tower, all alone and in shock of what he had just witnessed. Meklan crept up the stairs and stood behind him. He froze. Was this really the right thing to do? Maybe he was able to reason with him. Just when Meklan was about to speak to the mayor, he turned around. You could see the anger in his tear-filled eyes. Trembling with rage, he reached for his sword. Meklan had to do something, and something he did. He charged towards the mayor, knocking him off the tower, causing him to fall to his demise. Meklan had done it. The village was finally free of his oppressive ways. The residents cheered him on and sang songs of his name throughout the night. But Meklan kept quiet. He somehow didn't feel right with what he had done. And so he slipped out unnoticed, packed his bags and headed north. He was leaving his friends and those he called family, but he could not stay here. Not after that. He needed to be alone. But maybe not completely alone. He found a wolf pup who was actually quite fond of him, and after all, he didn't know Meklan's past, he was just happy to see him. So he had a new companion and they continued to walk north until they found a place to call home. Up on the mountain he built a cabin. It was truly peaceful up there. He had no concerns in the world, and it was exactly what Meklan had been searching for his entire life. The end. So, did you like it? Any questions?
Why didn't Meklan just stay at home with his family?
That's a good point. Maybe he just wanted to...
Shouldn't Meklan have just blown up the mayor's house while he was inside that one night?
Okay, Timmy, that's very dark, but I suppose you're right.
How did he slip out that one night without anybody noticing? That doesn't really make any sense to me.
Okay, look. If you didn't like the story, you could have just said. There is literally no need for you to point out every plot hole with your stupid little voices. You know what? That's it. I'm never doing bedtime reading again. I'm done. This is rubbish. I am out of here. Well, that took longer to make than I first thought it would, hence why this video is out sometime after 500 subscribers, plus it couldn't really go out anyway until the previous episode went live because of spoilers and whatnot, like this tower I'm currently stood on, but nonetheless, I hope you guys did enjoy it. It was actually really fun to put together despite it taking so very long, and I just wanted to make it to say thank you for 500 subscribers, or whatever number I'm at right now. I don't exactly know because I'm recording ahead of time as I usually do, but to all of you, thank you. I'm gonna keep it short because I keep messing up this outro, but yeah, just thank you for all the support you guys give this series, all the likes, comments, suggestions and everything else you do. I really do appreciate it, truly. But yeah, I guess I will see you guys in the next episode of Tektopia when it comes out. So thank you for watching this video, I hope you did enjoy it, and I will see you in the next one. Bye for now.